We all love our mums, sometimes even mothers we don't know. These mothers, though, we may have grown up with, laughed with, cried with, all through our television sets. And we are here to count down our top 10 TV mothers. But first, here are 10 TV mother facts. Number 1, Marion Ross played Marion Cunningham in 4 different television series. Love American Style in 1969, Happy Days in 1974, Joni Loves Chachi in 1982, and Family Guy in 1999.
Oh, Howard, are you getting frisky?
One of Peg Bundy's bras from Married with Children is located in the Fredericks of Hollywood's Lingerie Museum in Hollywood. It was stolen during the 1993 riots, but was returned by the thieves after they discovered its value.
It was a nice shot, Al. You want to go upstairs?
Barbara Windsor was ranked 14 in the 100 greatest EastEnders characters of all time for her performance as Peggy Mitchell.
Get out of my pub!
Barbara Bel Geddes was referred to by her Dallas co-stars Larry Hagman and Patrick Duffy's characters as Mama.
As long as your daddy isn't here, I guess it's going to have to be me that has to keep an eye on you.
On her hit series Modern Family, Julie Bowen was married to a real estate broker played by Ty Burrell. In real life, she was married to a real estate investor.
That feels weird and good all at once.
When The Addams Family was cancelled in 1966, the producers gave Morticia's oval-backed wicker chair to Caroline Jones as a memento. Jones kept it in her bedroom for the rest of her entire life.
Now, Cleopatra, chew your burgers. Don't gulp them.
Fred and Wilma Flintstone were the first animated married couple ever on American television in the same bed together. They have been mistaken as the first couple ever shown in bed together on any American TV show, but that title goes to Mary Kay and Johnny in 1947.
Oh, I'm so glad you're in a happy mood.
After filming her final scenes as Daenerys, the mother of dragons, Emilia Clarke got a tattoo of 3 dragons on her wrist.
Dracarys.
Deborah Jo Rupp, Kitty Foreman, wears the same red blouse and floral skirt in her final scene of the final season as she did in the first scene of the first season of that 70s show.
You went off and gave my funnel cake to those whores!
And the final one, Roseanne based the Connor family on her own. This is why she knew people would take to them. She also wanted to give Roseanne a voice to the average American working mother.
Okay, you guys. When I get back, I want to see this room like I left it this morning, only clean.
So there we go. There's some wonderful, fascinating facts. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the top 10 TV mothers. And we are joined, and very happy to be joined, by Rob and Michelle from Abbey Con. So hello, guys. How are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hi. Hello. Yeah, we're good. Thank you very much.
Good. Are you looking forward to delving into TV mothers, which sounds a lot more dirtier than I was expecting it to?
Yeah, we've been swatting.
We were literally swatting last night, weren't we? We're having a cram session.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Which also sounds worse.
It does.
Yeah.
I have my bell here ready for any of those kind of double entendres. Before we get into the business of the night, you've got to tell me all about Abbey Con.
Yes, so Abbey Con is a comic con. We can officially call it a comic con now because we have a comic artist. It's a comic con that's coming to Abingdon on Thames. Sounds posh, but it isn't. Hacker has said that himself. But we've got a real mix of everything. So it's going to be a good, fun family event. We have a lot of Star Wars characters coming, or cast members. We have Ghostbusters, a Ghostbusters band. Sorry, we have Gremlins. A DeLorean. Yeah, we've got a couple of original Gladiators, so Saracen and Cobra are coming. We've got an X-Wing that you can actually sit in and have your photo with. You can put your helmet on and everything as well. So that's very popular. We've seen it at other events. And other things like Daleks. We've got the fully working Johnny Five from Short Circuit coming as well. He is alive. And then just your generic stuff. So, stalls that you can buy lots of cool things at. We've got a Warhammer room. They're also going to do like Blood Bowl, I think it's called as well. It's like Warhammer. It's not my world. I'm a Star Wars geek like yourself. And then we've also got a big Lego display room as well. So it's some quite cool award-winning Lego model displays that are coming. Yeah, just a
So
real mix of
basically
everything.
a geek's paradise is basically what it is.
Geek's paradise for
100%,
Oxfordshire. Yeah.
Right. So are you the main sort of guys that have organised this? And if you you are, why did you do it?
Well, yeah, we are the mad people that are doing this. So I've been on the scene myself for over 10 years, helping lots of other people put Comic Cons together, and someone encouraged me to finally do it myself.
For our listeners, Rob is pointing at.
Yeah, sorry, yes. So pointing at Michelle.
Yeah.
So yeah, lots of encouragement, and a couple of years ago, I probably wouldn't have. After seeing some, terrible things happen at other conventions and things. But here we are. Next month is our Comic Con, and because I've been on the scene for so long, the support towards us has been fantastic. So, the guests, we've actually at the point where we're turning people down, which when you've got people from like Star Wars and stuff like that asking, it's like I physically don't have room anymore.
We can't fit anybody else in.
It's pretty cool, to be on that side of things. So that's where we're at the moment.
So, because I've were you involved, or did you go to the Swindon Comic Con that was a few years ago? Yeah. So I mean, that's in regards to like local Comic Cons. That's the sort of taste that I've got of things like that, and it is crazy on any of these kind of Comic Cons where you've got guests, but the people that are coming to it as paid punters will dress in amazing costumes and just walking around just like they're not part of a show or anything, in full like Game of Thrones costumes or and it's just crazy to see that kind of commitment when you go to those things.
We've seen it a lot over there.
Well, I'd never been to one until
I dropped you in that deep end last year.
I've never been to one before, and walking around, like you say, with all the cosplayers and everything, it was just, I didn't know where to look. It was insane, but they put in so much effort. It's amazing.
Yeah. So what was the main, I mean, obviously the fact of where you're living didn't have a Comic-Con to start with, but was it just the fact you felt there was a hole to be filled? Oh, there we go. I'll have ding
dong. Yeah, definitely. So Oxfordshire's the city. There hadn't been a Comic-Con here for about 5 years.
Right.
So last September, it just made sense. We do it on our doorstep. We wanted to make it a real community thing for Abingdon. So we wanted the original plan was to have it right in the town centre, and incorporate, like, stormtroopers going around the streets, the high street and stuff, with Daleks and all sorts of things, and a little treasure hunt around the town. Unfortunately, we couldn't get the building we wanted because it was having a refurb. But so we've got a leisure centre that's just a little bit outside. It's walking distance from the town centre, which is still ideal. And to be fair, the hall we've been given there is perfect.
Yeah.
It's still not as big as Swindon Comic Con.
Yeah.
But size wise, it's perfect, and it's absolutely perfect for what we want for our first event. Definitely. There is a bigger hall connected to this leisure centre, which was huge. When they first showed us this, it was like, oh my goodness, the event I could put on, that would probably be on par with Swindon Comic Con.
Yeah.
And then they announced that the floor would have to be covered, and I've dealt with that before, and that can be quite expensive. And then they just sort of played it down, and they were like, oh, we got this smaller room out the back, and I'm thinking Harry Potter's cupboard.
Yeah.
And then they showed us, and I was like, this is it. This is perfect. It's got good accessibility. Just tick many boxes, plus 2 extra squash courts that we are filling up with, the Warhammer room and the Lego room. So it's just turned into this bonkers thing.
I was kind of hoping to see Johnny Five and R2D2 playing squash. Have you not having that? That would be amazing.
That would be cool.
So I'm assuming you've got a website that and it's a ticketed event, I would assume.
Yeah, it is ticketed event. We've got a website which is Trooper Events UK, and that's our events company that's behind this. So our events company is Trooper Events UK, and it's simple as that. It's on the website there. We're on Facebook with that as well. We've also got Abbey Con as its own Facebook page.
We're on Instagram, TikTok. We're on all the socials.
Not
All
Twitter.
Socials,
Except
indeed.
Twitter.
Yeah,
We don't know how to twit.
Yeah, nobody wants to be on Twitter anymore, do they?
No.
I will put the links in the show notes. So so please, like I say, the times I've been to Comic Cons have been so much fun. So let's imagine that like you're at the 5th or 6th time that you've done this. Who would be your ideal anybody? If there could be anybody, who would be your ideal guest?
Well, for me, so this is a very this blew me away. We were having a meeting with the leisure centre and one of the bosses there right at the start, and she just dropped that her godfather is I've forgotten his name. The composer of Star Wars.
Oh, John Williams.
John Williams.
Yeah.
Yes, is her godfather.
Oh my!
And I was just like, that was it. The meeting had gone out the window for me. You were like,
you were a bit emotional.
Come back to the room.
It's like, come on, Rob, focus. We're in a business meeting.
I get emotional, and I mean, I've seen you get emotional, Carl, and that. I was there with you, and I was just thinking, oh my god. So I mean, to have John Williams would be amazing. You know, all the scores he's done for all those different films, like.
I mean, legendary isn't a big enough word for someone like John Williams,
definitely
is it?
Not. No. So probably for me, it would have to be John Williams. It's random. It's not what you would normally go for, you know, like Harrison Ford or something like that.
Yeah.
But John Williams. Wow.
What about you, Michelle?
Oh, Ryan Reynolds.
Of course.
You know, he's local now, relatively.
I mean, yeah.
You know.
The thing is things like that. I mean, can't you just get somebody in a Deadpool costume and say that it's Ryan Reynolds? I mean, you could do that.
Oh,
I would know.
Oh, that is true. That is true.
Should check.
I bet she would. But we won't tell our listeners how she would check. That just isn't appropriate.
Where's that bell?
There you go. We'll ding that one as well. We will talk a little bit more later on because I've got a few more questions I'd like to ask you, but we have to get through to the business of the day. Before we actually crack on, we've got to do this.
Lisa's Challenge.
What the fuck are you saying?
Didn't mean to ring the bell then, sorry. So how many, out of our top 10, how many duplicates do you think you're going to get between your top 10 and my top 10? That's Lisa's challenge. How many do you think we're going to have the same? And I will make a note of it and we'll see at the end who wins this little Lisa's challenge.
Yes. I already
Four.
Four.
You think 4?
Yeah.
Damn, that's what I was going to say. Okay, I'm going to say 1. It's going to be 4, I think. I'm going to say 5 then. I'm going to go for it and say 5. Okay, we'll see how we are. Now, how did you compile your top 10? Were you very democratic and just went through it and both agreed? Or did you like one take number 10, one take number 9, one take number 8?
No, we did agree on the majority of them.
Yeah, so when I first said the category to Michelle, my mind was blank. But you just went with all these, which was a while back.
That's a weird noise to make when. Really weird noise.
That's our bell. But yeah, so but obviously we both watched different things.
Yeah.
So for me, you know, there was some Game of Thrones potentials in there, but Michelle's never watched it, so we've come to. We haven't stuck to anything that we haven't watched. If that makes sense, like on our own.
Yeah.
So it's been stuff we've watched together. Collective.
Yeah.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
I was because whenever I do my top 10, I always list the ones off the top of my head, and then I will always go onto Google and put in top 50 of whatever the subject is, and realize, oh yeah, I've missed that one.
That's what we did.
Yeah.
There was a couple last night. I'm like, oh my god, that would be an epic one.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And there's loads that I've realised that I haven't watched as much TV as I thought I had, because there's a lot of the ones that are in the main sort of say top 20 that I thought I've never seen that. So you can't. I mean, I know them, but I can't say that they would be in my top 10 because I don't know what they do in the show.
Yeah.
So, okay then, hit us off with your number 10.
You can start.
Okay, so number 10, we've gone for Liz from Motherland. So
Right. Okay.
so which was played by Diane Morgan, the amazing, very funny Diane Morgan. I'm new to Motherland, and I pretty much watched all of it now. And she's obviously not the main mum in the program. It's sort of mainly based around Julia, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's not even what you'd pick out as a conventional good mum, if you like.
no.
It's just when you dive into her character, I think you see how loving she actually is for not just her kids, but all her friends as well. And she's crazy and chaotic, and she's got a different way of parenting, if you like, a little less hands-on.
Yeah. Sort of comes across as she doesn't like her children sometimes, but then there's quite a few scenes where, like, when the kids go back to school, she has no idea what to do with herself, so she really misses her kids. And then it was quite a cool little character, and we thought also it was quite a cool curveball as well to chuck in as well.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say as well, because like I think a couple of my mothers are not particularly good mothers, but they're fun in the shows that they're in.
Yeah,
which makes them sort of favourites of mine. Because now she's the woman that plays like Philomena Kunk, isn't she? Diane Morgan. She was in Afterlife, and she's really good. I've watched a couple of episodes of that, but I've not watched a lot of it. That's a BBC comedy, isn't it? I think.
I think so. Yeah.
But I mean, it is a bit of a curveball there, so that's a good one to kick us off with.
Oh, it's not the only one.
No, right. Oh, maybe I'll go 3 instead of 5 then for my Lisa's challenge. Okay, my number 10. She was in the facts actually earlier on. I'm going for Roseanne from the Roseanne show, Roseanne Barr. It's more, I can remember when Roseanne first started, because I'm of that vintage that I can remember back all those years ago, and it was such a weird thing to see not somebody that looked like they'd stepped out of Friends. As the star of the show, although I think they preempted Friends, but it was nice to see exactly what I said in the facts, that they looked like a normal family. They didn't look like they just.
I wanted to be a part of that family.
Yeah, but they just also looked like normal people. They didn't look like the typical American people that were in sitcoms or soap operas and just looked perfect. They looked like a normal family, and I always thought the first few series anyway were really, really funny. I never watched any of it when it came back, and then obviously Roseanne got cancelled and it became the Connors and all of that kind of shenanigans. But I just thought she had that. It was just a really funny show. John Goodman's just great anyway.
Yeah.
But she was just what a real mother was. She was trying to find a way of just dishing out life every day, but day to day. There was no special stuff. It was a hard-working family that she was just pissed off most of the time, because her family is just family's just a normal family. So. Yeah, I thought I had to put that in there.
Yeah, I remember watching that when I was younger, and for me, it sort of really normalized, like an American family. For me, it was always like what you saw in the movies and stuff like that. But then this made them very real and very relatable to like an English family. Yeah. So for me, I found it. Yeah, it was cool, and I wanted. It was John Goodman. Was it Dan?
He was Dan. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so like I wanted Dan to be my dad. I wanted to be a part of that family, and even though it was chaotic and Roseanne would scare me, yeah, it was just so cool. Yeah,
yeah, and it was also nice to see, because normally every American TV show or film, they always lived in big houses, and even now I think that every American and all our American friends, I always think that. They just live in lovely big houses, yet they lived in this little, it wasn't a shack, obviously, but it was obviously a smaller house for like a working class family. And it just felt a lot more real than a lot of the other stuff that you saw from American TV shows. But that's why I kind of loved it, really. It'd be nice to go back and watch a few more of those episodes, like the really old episodes. But okay, that's my number 10. So what's your number 9 then, guys?
Okay, so we had to write. Oh, where is the? So we've gone with Lois Wilkerson from Malcolm in the Middle.
Oh, okay.
Played by, and I can't remember how to pronounce her surname. It was Jane Kazmarek or something like that.
That sounds fine. I don't know.
We'll go with that.
That sounds
Sorry if
perfect.
she's watching this. And you're offended, but we're English. What do we know?
Yeah.
But yeah, so Lois from Malcolm in the Middle, again, kind of like Roseanne, scary as a mum. But yeah, she would, I don't know, the way she parented was quite scary. But then the kids were also, and Hal were also a pain, really. They were a pain.
So you could forgive her for...
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, everyone was sort of scared of Lois, the neighbours, and, you know, not many people liked her. And again, they were quite sort of a real family, but then heightened a lot, obviously, for the drama of the programme and stuff. But yeah, Lois.
Yeah, I think that's why we chose her as well, because again, although not your conventional good mum, it resonates as a normal mum.
Yeah.
A mum that gets pissed off at her kids, a mum that loses her shit every now and again, or all the time. Because it's hard. It's a hard job, you know, being a parent in general. So I think she's very relatable to normal people.
Yeah. And I think that was, I mean, again, I used to watch that when it first came out, and it's the one thing I can't get over. It's hard to believe that the dad of that turned out to be Walter White.
Walter White, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's crazy when you think of that he was like part of a dysfunctional family there, and then part of another dysfunctional family in another amazing TV show. But yeah, but in the end, I think I would say the majority of mothers in those kind of shows, they still love their family more than anything.
Oh,
but
yeah.
It's everyday life gets in the way sometimes. We all do that. We all love our kids and we all love our families, but, you know, things just piss us off. But that's done for comedic effect, isn't it? Obviously, for that show. Freddie Muniz, wasn't it? Wasn't he Malcolm? Yeah, Freddie Muniz.
I think so. And he completely lost his memory of all of it, didn't he?
Oh, did he?
I can't remember what happened to him. Something happened. He had a head injury, and he has no memory of all those years of filming it.
Wow. Is he the person who's like the motor race?
Yeah, so he's like doing NASCAR racing and stuff now, I believe it is. But yeah, his Malcolm in the Middle years all gone from his
until
mind.
he looks at his bank balance and then realizes
he's
thinking, where did this money come from?
Yeah, and the good thing is it's all been recorded, so he can watch it and be like, oh, okay, yeah, I did that.
Wow,
I think
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
There you go. Full of facts, look. See, that's why you should go to Abbey Con, because it's full of facts.
Yeah.
Okay, my number 9 had to have this, because this was one of my first crushes, which was probably wrong. But it's Marion Cunningham from Happy Days. Marion Ross. In my eyes, like one of the first MILFs, I think. Absolutely. Because she was just, it was that very sort of buttoned down, pinny wearing, sort of very suppressed 50s kind of thing. And I loved the fact that with Happy Days, all you had to do was say frisky, like I did on the clip, and the crowd, you know, the audience would just go wild because she said, oh my God, she said frisky. But she was, I mean, she was just her and Tom Bosley, who's got the voice. I don't know what it is about that voice of Tom Bosley that takes me right back to my childhood for some reason. I don't know why. He's got one of those real comforting voices. But as a couple, as a mum and dad, they were like America's mum and dad, really, for so many years. And I used to love Happy Days. It was such a great show with the Fonz and Richie and all the rest of the guys and stuff. But I felt that although I must admit, I thought that might have been one of the ones we were going to be going on, but we're not. But again, see, I'm older than you guys, so you probably haven't even like really seen Happy Days, have you?
Oh no, we watched it. Yeah. We watched it. The Fonz just, walking in and hitting the jukebox.
Yeah, it's so good.
And I think it's so funny now, because if you look at Harry Winkler now, Henry, sorry, Winkler.
Abbey Con, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. He's not booked. We haven't got him booked.
I would love it. I would love it if there was a booth there with this guy called Harry Winkler. And he's got a leather jacket on, and he's from Oxford, and he's going, "Hey." That'd be so good.
He's doing a thumbs down instead of thumbs up. Yeah. The Wish Fonz.
Harry Winkler. Oh, he'd make a fortune. Anyways.
Do you know what? You're giving me an idea. Let me get a pen.
Yeah, that's it. But yeah,
So that means you could have Mike Hamill. He was pretending to be Mark Hamill.
Oh, we could call it. It would be a comic con.
It would be.
Well.
That's exactly what. Yes.
Just not convention.
Oh my!
We'll take your money.
That would be so funny. You'd have a whole like rogues gallery of all these different people that their names are just slightly different.
Harrison Fred. Oh, get up now.
Anyway,
Karen Fisher.
Oh my God! You could get all the big. Yeah, you could Don Williams.
Yes, let's do this.
Let's do this. That's next year. Look, we can sort that out for next year. Okay, give us your number 8 then, please.
Right, this is by far our biggest curveball.
Yes.
This was you.
Okay.
This was a you thing. So I just went along with it.
Yes. So this is a mum you don't physically see in this very, very famous English TV series. And it is Joni Trotter.
Oh, okay.
As in Rodney and Dell's mum, who was quite regularly mentioned. And she was the driving force behind Dell bringing up Rodney, really. There was when they won the millions and Dell went back to the flat and had a reminiscent time of the flat, there was a voiceover, and she's uncredited, we looked it up. There was a voiceover of Dell. Basically, I think he had a hangover and she said, no, you're still going to do your 11 plus tomorrow. So Joni was regularly mentioned by quite a few of the main cast. And obviously, there was even storylines about her, like when, they figured out that Rodney and Dell don't have the same dad.
That's right. Freddie the Frog, wasn't it? Wasn't it Freddie the Frog?
Yeah, that's it. Right. Yeah. So, and then obviously there was the spin-off series, which I've forgotten the name of.
Something.
Rock and Chips.
Rock and Chips, yeah. So obviously she did feature in that.
Yeah.
But obviously Only Fools and Horses is way up there for
yeah, we just feel she was the reason Dell was so overly protective, really, of Rodney. Although he was, Rodney a plonker all the time, he really loved Rodney, and that was his job. He became the parent, didn't he? Ultimately, so we just thought, as an absent mum, she was definitely the driving force behind why Dell wanted so much to make a better life for them and make his mum proud.
Mm-hmm. And I think also Del Boy would always bring the mum up as a kind of way of getting Rodney to do stuff.
Yeah,
he'd be like, I can remember on your mum's deathbed, she said this. She said, look after Rodney, and it would always be a way of just like getting him to do stuff that he didn't want to do. But that's a very good one.
It was also the time where they painted her tombstone with fluorescent paint.
That's right.
As well.
It was on the flight path to Heathrow, wasn't it?
And Rodney named his baby
after her. That's right.
well.
Yeah. Rodney named his child after her. So she featured heavily in it. Yeah. But we never saw her in Only Fools and Horses, obviously. No. So
that's
there
very
you go.
Good one. Very good one. My number 8, now again, being older, I don't know if you guys are going to know this one. There was a sitcom called Sorry. Have you ever seen the sitcom? Yeah, with Ronnie Corbett.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to go for her, for his mum, was Mrs. Lumsden, played by Barbara Lott. And poor old Ronnie Corbett, I mean, I don't know how old he would have been in the show, maybe in his 30s or 40s, but he basically played a downtrodden 30, 40-year-old still living at home, with a mother that just like kept treating him like a child. He wasn't allowed to have girlfriends or go out or anything like that. And so she was a real nightmare. She was, but it was so funny. I can remember one of the greatest soundtracks of greatest theme tune of a comedy show. And it was, I think, only ran for like 2 or maybe 3 series. But it was as a kid, it was 1981 it first came out. So I was 12 when it came out. Mm-hmm. And I loved the two Ronnies and like Morecambe and Wise. I loved them. And Ronnie Corbett was brilliant in it. He was so good. But Mrs. Lumsden, his mum, was just terrible. She was just like but with love. She loved him, but she didn't want him to grow up, and she didn't want him to have an independent life. So you know, he couldn't have a girlfriend, and then even when girls started to sniff around, if you like, she would make sure that she did something to stop them from being around. Yeah, but it's. Can you, Rob?
So I always remember my mum, if I swore, she'd always say to me, "Language, Timothy." And I think that was from that, wasn't it?
Yes, that was. Yes, that's what the dad used to say. Language, Timothy.
Language, Timothy.
Yeah.
I was born in '84, so just to make you feel a bit older there.
Unbelievable. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was born in '84, so I missed that.
Right.
But I have heard that before, language, Timothy.
Yeah, it's one of those things that ends up in like everyday conversation that people have no idea probably where it even comes from. But yeah, that was Ronnie Corbett's dad. Yeah, every time Ronnie Corbett would lose it and say "damn" or something, language, Timothy.
Language, Timothy.
Oh God, so good. Okay, then you're number 7, then please.
They're not all curveballs, I promise.
No, I don't think this will be. I don't think
this was one of the ones that, like you said, when we Googled a few, this came up and we were like, oh yes, this is a perfect one. But probably it was in there, and then when you think about her, you're like, oh my God, for these reasons.
And obviously we looked her up a bit more last night to get some more information, just in case we were tricked
during our study session.
Yeah,
nice.
While we were swatting away. It's Pippa Fletcher, or formerly known as Pippa Ross from Home and Away.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay. We thought you might have had this one.
No, I mean, I used to watch Home and Away back when it was like the early days when it was at its height. But I can't remember who Pippa Fletcher was. The name rings a bell.
She adopted
everyone.
She basically.
She was a foster mum. They came into it, her and her husband Tom, and they came in and they bought the caravan park. So this was early in the start. They came into it, 1988, and she bought the caravan park, and they had their one of their foster kids was Sally, who I think she became like a really main character in Home and Away. And they were she was a foster mum, so she took in all the waifs and strays, everyone that came through Summer Bay that was a little bit naughty.
Yes, I recognise her now. Yeah. That's real old.
She actually adopted 14 children.
Yeah.
Goodness me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I recognise her now. She was that was like old school Home and Away, wasn't it? That was like yeah. God, with that and Neighbours, I mean, it used to be the stuff that everybody watched was Home and Away and Neighbours, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Are they still?
I said yesterday, I remember, so it was 1988 it came out, and I remember that the Christmas of that year, myself and my brother, we got little plastic fold-up chairs. It was amazing technology. And I remember everyone was quite excited about this new Australian soap that was coming out. And me and my brother decided we were going to bring our posh fold-out chairs to sit down in the front room and watch Home and Away for the first time.
Right. And I thought you was going to say that you got Home and Away fold-away chairs. That's what I thought you was going to get. That had like Home and Away on it.
Summer and the other one's in Bay.
Summer Bay. Rack off.
There you go. But I mean, a great breeding ground for amazing start. I think Russell Crowe appeared in. I mean, obviously you had Jason Donovan, and this was obviously Neighbours and Home and Away. But it's crazy. It's crazy. But that is another. I would say that's a curveball, definitely.
Oh, okay.
Definitely. Well, I haven't got that one, so we still haven't got any duplicates yet. So
we'll be in the duplicates.
I'm sure there will. I'm sure there will.
So
my number 7 again. It was mentioned in the facts. I'm gonna go for Daenerys Targaryen. She is the mother of dragons, so she is a TV mother. Now, I don't know whether you guys are Game of Thrones fans. Okay, so we may be.
I am.
Right.
Yeah.
My wife is a massive. I mean, I've not watched hardly any of the House of Dragons show. My wife devours all of it. She absolutely loves it all. I get confused with all the names. I don't know whether they're names or places, or when they start talking, I really get confused. But I was so into the original Game of Thrones, especially when it got to the last season, And then I felt they dropped the ball in the last couple of episodes, and like everyone else, was totally pissed off because it wasn't what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
But Daenerys was just a fascinating character, from being such a meek, downtrodden thing in the first few episodes or series to becoming this amazingly powerful psychopath in the end, I suppose you could say. She just totally lost it. But as a mother, she was mother of the dragons, and she loved the dragons more than anything else, I think. And I think you ended up loving them as well. And then one of them, spoilers, when one of them dies, it feels like it. Sorry, did I spoil it for you?
Damn it! I was going to watch that one tonight.
I'm sorry.
Bloody hell.
They don't really. I'm only joking. Oh Christ! I'm sorry, Michelle. Why? What? Have you actually watching it? Are you?
No.
Oh, that's all right then.
I've tried. Yeah.
So where do you stand on the end of Game of Thrones?
Yeah, massively disappointed. I did not like the flip. She was promising to bring real good and change the world for good and everything, and then clear out all the crap that was going on in the human world, and then flip things around and then look towards the north and sort the problem out that was happening there. But the way things ended, it was just
it was disappointing, I must admit. But
very disappointing.
Yeah, but I feel she deserves a place in the top 10 TV mothers. So. Okay, number 6, please.
Our number 6 is Barb Royal from the Royal Family.
That's my number 4. Yay, we've got one. There you go. Okay, why have you chosen Barb?
Oh,
wow, she's such a put up on mum, but she doesn't stop, does she? She works. She's the only one in the family that works, and she works at looking after absolutely all of them. They're all pretty useless. If it wasn't for her, they wouldn't be able to do anything, would they? Let's be honest. We just feel she's kind of the epitome of a mum.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you look at like their meals, obviously she'd always strive to do a Sunday roast and everything, but when you look at their meals, it would just be sausages and chips or something, just chuck it in the oven and then go sit back on the sofa, have a fag, and a glass of wine with her mum, and then Mary would pop round, even though they've spoke to each other half the day on the phone.
Yeah,
much to Jim's delight. But yeah, it was all. I said this last night. It was all the eye rolls that sort of made that show as well. Because you would have Jim sat in his chair eye rolling at stuff that they were saying, but then they would also do it at Jim.
Yeah.
She was just a brilliant character.
Yeah. It feels to me like it was a British version of Roseanne. It was what a real family were like.
Very real.
There was nothing sugar coated on that, and it was sort of like sending off your son to go and get everyone a Twix or a flake. Yeah. And that would be the highlight of the night. Is that you've gone and got yourself a crunchy, and you're watching TV. I haven't seen that for a long, long time. So I just wonder, because you're looking at it, it must be like 25 years old now. Probably young. Was it start of the 2000s?
Yeah.
Start of the 2000s. But I love the royal family. I think it maybe got a little bit stretched near the end, but the first 2 or 3 series or whatever it was just. Carolyn Aherne was just an amazing writer with Dave Cash. No, was it? No.
Craig
Cash.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
There you go.
We'll get Dave Cash to Abbey Con.
Dave Cash can go to Abbey Con.
But yeah, that show, I was quite late to watching it, but then I sort of binge watched it. Yeah. But yeah, I did shed a tear at a couple of episodes. It was when I forgot her name, when Jim was consoling his daughter. Got her name, the character's name in it. When she went into labour, Denise.
Right.
Denise, yeah. And then obviously when Nana died as well, that literally my eyes. That was something else.
Michelle goes, bloody hell, I was going to watch that tonight. Spoilers.
Yeah. And when Jim picked his nose as well, that's another spoiler.
Yeah, they're just very relatable, aren't they?
Yeah,
so, they do remind me of being at my nan's back in the day. like you were saying, like my nan would go, oh, one of my cousins, pop over the shop and get something.
Yeah.
And it was very that kind of growing up, early 90s kind of,
Yeah.
It definitely reminded me of my nan's house.
Yeah. It's weird, like you were saying about saying language, Timothy. The amount of times I've said to my son, you're one lazy little sod you are, you lanky streak of piss. I'll always say those little things, and it's weird that they become part of your normal everyday parlance. It just becomes stuff that you just say. But yeah, so that's your number 6, and that's my number 4. So we've finally got a duplicate. That's good.
Yes.
My number 6, I'm going to go for. We've already spoken about Breaking Bad, but I'm going to go for Skylar White, played by Anna Gunn in Breaking Bad. Now, to me, Breaking Bad is one of, if not the most perfect TV series ever. Five series.
My son would agree with you on that. Yeah.
Start and finish. Just one of those groundbreaking TV shows. And
I've never watched it.
Have you never seen it? It is
never seen it.
It is really good.
It is genuinely got sort of some of the most memorable pieces of television, and the last episode is one of the greatest episodes of TV ever, as far as I'm concerned. And it's the way that it wraps it up. Obviously, with Better Call Saul, sort of the prequel to it all. But Skylar White is someone that is her arc through the whole show is amazing. As somebody that has no idea what's going on, I'm not going to go into it, Rob, because I don't want to spoil it for you, because you should watch it.
You should watch
it. It's only 5 seasons. So that's the thing. It's not like you've got hundreds of episodes. Like, say this, I've never seen The Sopranos.
Me neither.
But it's like 22 episodes in a season, like 9 seasons or 10. That's too much. I've got no.
Who's got that amount of time?
No, I'll wait until they invent a chip in your head that you can just slide it in, and then hey, I'll watch
the best bits.
Wouldn't that be amazing? Wouldn't that be amazing? Yeah. But for me, Skylar is one of those ones where you feel so sorry for her.
Yeah.
And then there are times when you think, "What are you doing, you stupid woman?"
A lot of those times.
There's so many moments in like that. But in the end, again, she's a mother that just loves her family and gets put into an amazingly hard position by her husband, who he thinks he's doing the right thing. Rob, you've got to watch it. Is all I'm going to say.
It just completely gets out of his control, doesn't it?
Completely.
In the beginning, he is just trying to make the situation better and more bearable, but it just it just snowballs and gets totally out of control. But Skylar's a very prominent figure. She just wants to look out for everybody, and I agree with that one.
Oh, it makes me want to go and watch Breaking Bad again, so I may do that. I mean, not exactly now, but you should watch it, Rob. Yeah, and see if you can get Ryan Cranston to come to Abbey Con too as well.
I'm writing all these names down.
Yeah, you should. Absolutely, you should. Okay, we're halfway through, so it's now time for this.
Pop quiz, hot shot.
It's quiz time, so here we go. This is when the relationship gets strained. Okay, I've got 10 questions. You'll have one each, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the children of a certain family, and you need to tell me who the mother is.
Oh, God.
Okay?
Okay.
Now, shall we do mother and TV show so that each one is worth 2 points? Let's maybe do that. So at least if you may not know the mother, you might know the program. So who would like to go first or second? That way then some might get easy questions.
First.
Ladies first.
I'll go first, apparently. Yeah.
Okay then, Michelle. Let me make sure I can keep a note of the score. Number 1, Buster, Job, and Michael. That's the children. Buster, Job, and Michael.
Just writing it down.
That's fine.
Buster, Job, and Michael.
And I will pass it over if the first person doesn't know the answer for a bonus. Buster, Job, and Michael.
Can I ask any questions?
No, I ask the questions.
I'm the quiz master here.
Oh,
I don't know how you if you know how quizzes work, Michelle. I ask questions and you're supposed to give me.
I could have said, "Is it an American TV show?"
I'm afraid I can't. I can't give you. I can't give you information like that. That's.
Well, you could. You're choosing not to.
Yeah, it's absolutely true.
Freedom of speech.
Yeah,
I have no clue at all.
Okay.
So over to you
then, Rob. Do you have any clue?
No.
Okay.
Pastor Joe Michael. Pastor Joe.
I think
No.
No.
Okay, so it is Lucille Bluth from Arrested Development.
No, never watched it. Sorry.
Oh, you're missing something on that as well. I'm telling you, one of the greatest American comedy shows ever. Just tell you that now.
Bateman in that.
He is, absolutely, yes. He is Michael. He is Michael Bluth. It is one of the funniest shows you'll ever watch, honestly.
It's one of those things that has been on late at night, and I've kind of gone, and watched like a couple of seconds and gone, I might watch this, and then never come back to it.
It's so clever, and she's amazing. Okay, Rob, yours. Luke, Haley, and Alex. Luke, Haley, and Alex. I mean, I'm not saying that these are going to be easy. Let me put it this way.
You're right. They're not. I feel like, I don't know why, but I feel like Alex is a girl's name for this. I could be wrong. I'm not looking at your reaction.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, Luke, Haley, and Alex. You need to be thinking, because if I don't get this, then oh, good.
Who's their mother?
Yeah, I have.
They seem like they're quite British.
They sound very nice names.
They're quite British names. I don't think it's American.
What do you reckon?
I was trying to. I thought of like my family, but then that's Nick, and other children. I forgot their names, which is great. Hopefully, that's not a question. So no, I have no clue.
Okay, Michelle.
No, I have no idea.
No. Okay, the answer is.
I'm worried about the answer.
It's Claire Dunphy from Modern Family.
Oh, have you not watched that one? No, we do watch TV, guys.
We're doing well. We're doing well.
We're so busy organising Abbey Con.
Of course you are. Exactly. Absolutely.
For all my life.
Yeah. Okay, Michelle, number 3.
Right.
Adam and Johnny.
Oh, that's Friday Night Dinner.
That's for 1 point. And what's the name of the mum?
Jackie.
Hello, Jackie.
Hello, Jackie.
Well done. Well done. Okay, Rob, here's yours. Pugsley and Wednesday.
Oh, that's Morticia Addams from the Addams Family.
Well done. We're on a roll now. Okay, Michelle. Denise and Anthony.
Oh, that's the Royal Family, and it's Barb Royal.
Yes. And over to you, Rob. Kelly and Bud.
Oh, Kelly and Bud.
Kelly and Bud.
See, I want to say Roseanne, but there was more than just those two. It's annoying because I know she knows.
Can't remember the name of the mum though.
Oh, God, these are good.
They are. They are. Kelly and Bud.
I see the mum in my head.
Pass.
Okay. Michelle?
It's Married with Children, but
It
the
is.
mum. So I know it was. Oh, Bundy. What's her name?
I mentioned it in the
She was one of my original mums on my list as well, and I cannot think of her name. Big hair. Oh, damn it!
Shall I tell you who it is?
Yeah.
It's Peg Bundy.
Oh.
You got a point for Married with Children.
Thanks.
Okay, Michelle. Tommen, Marcella, and Joffrey.
Oh, hold on. Joffrey is in Game of Thrones, right? Is it Game of Thrones?
It is, for a point.
And the mum is someone Lannister. I don't know.
I can give you half a point for that. Do you know what her first name is?
Maureen.
Maureen Lannister.
That's who we're booking in.
Appearing at Abbey Con too. Maureen Lannister. Go on then, Rob, for an extra point.
Cersei.
It is Cersei Lannister,
Oh my
yes.
God. I was so close.
So close. Rob, Meg, Chris, and Stewie.
Oh, it's, we've actually got it's Lois. I'm trying to think of her surname. Lois from Family Guy.
I'll give you that, yeah. It's
Thank
Lois
you.
Griffin. Lois Griffin from Family Guy. Okay, last two questions for you, Michelle. Richie and Joni.
Oh, that's Happy Days. And
Correct.
you said it.
Just talking
We were
about
just
her.
talking about her.
The MILF.
Yeah.
The MILF.
Mum.
The MILF Mum.
Yeah.
So frustrating.
Isn't it? I can't remember.
I can't remember. It was less than... No.
The answer is it was Marion Cunningham.
See, I just have Maureen in my head constantly.
Yeah, you would have been close.
And
the final one. So, Rob, you need these two to level. At the moment, the score is 7 to Michelle and 5 to Rob. So you need both of these. And here we go. Drogon, Rhaegon, and Viserion.
So that's the dragons, Daenerys, and Game of Thrones.
It is. So it was a tie. Look at that. I mean, that's...
I feel that last question was a fix, but... Yeah.
Look at that. You were just a Marion Cunningham away from winning, Michelle. But there you go. All fair's in love and war, and it was nice to draw, so that's wonderful.
Oh, yes.
Okay, back to the job in hand. So you're number 5, please.
You can go.
So 5, we've gone with Dot Cotton.
The icon that is
Wow.
Dot
Iconic.
Dot Cotton.
Yeah. Obviously, the iconic mother of nasty Nick John Altman. She was not a very mothery mother, but she put up with a lot of Nick's shit over the years, and eventually helped with his death. So, yeah, I mean, Dot, her relationship with her son, over the years, on and off, because they both left the program and came back and over the years. But yeah, sometimes she'd welcome him back with open arms and, I'll fix myself, Ma, and all that sort of stuff. And then she'd believe it for a bit until he's got his hands in her purse or trying to kill someone or something, So it wouldn't take long for her to not like him as much, and
but she was ultimately a forgiving. She wanted to see the best in him all the time.
She was very religious, wasn't she?
Because of that, I think she had as much faith in him as she did in, the big man upstairs as well. She was just, not that one. I just think she's a very iconic character, and she was very, although not very, cuddly and maternal in that respect. She was kind of like the mother figure of Albert Square. Everybody kind of looked to Dot, so she kind of looked after everybody. Quite, the matriarch
in a busybody kind of way.
Yeah.
And it was her and Ethel, wasn't it? They were like a good double act together.
Yeah, and Little Willie.
Little Willie, yeah.
No, I'll ding that one. I'm gonna ding that one. Yeah, but just thinking. I mean, it's been years since I watched EastEnders. I used to watch it during the Lofty and the Nick, Dirty Den years.
Yeah.
And I don't think she ever changed. She always looked old, didn't she,
Yeah.
Dot Cotton? And even like I saw a picture of her when she was, I think, just before she died, and didn't she go back to Albert Square? And she just looks exactly the same.
Yeah.
She looks exactly the same from the very first episode. And another one that seemed to be beaten down by life, and it was a very real character, because I think every town or every family has probably got somebody that you would say is a Dot Cotton.
Yeah, she smokes like a trooper, which blew me away after a while, because obviously it was EastEnders and very BBC now, where BBC are quite PC as well.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you would still see her smoking on screen. Like,
well, I
even
heard
now.
she basically refused. Anyway, when like the smoking ban and stuff came in, she was like, "Nope, it's my character.
Yeah.
I'm going to carry it on," and she did.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But that was the part of the character. That was
Yeah.
her character, wasn't it? That she was
Yeah,
always.
she's not just going to go, "Oh, I don't do this anymore," and chuck it to one side.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I was going to say she always had a fag on, but our American viewers are going to wonder what I'm talking about. And so, she always had a cigarette. Yeah, she always had a cigarette on. Okay, my number 5. I'm going for Morticia Addams, Caroline Jones from the Addams Family. Now, I don't know whether you guys watch the Addams Family, but I always feel that people either were Munsters or Addams Family, and I was definitely an Addams Family, mainly because my nan. One of the earliest memories I had, she had one of the, the thing, which was just the hand that would wander around.
Yeah.
There was a money box that you could buy where you'd just put the coin in, and then the thing's hand would come out and grab the coin.
Take the coin, yeah.
And I bet that's worth a fortune now if you've got one she had it in a box and everything. And it was just one of those shows that I didn't know whether to laugh at it or to be really scared of.
Scared of it, yeah.
Yeah, because like Cousin It was always really scary. Uncle Fester was scary. Lurch, the butler, was like one of the scariest things I'd ever seen when I was little. But it was all black and white as well, so it always felt like it was from a bygone era. It was like one shake away from Dracula because it was all this very gothic. But it was also really funny as well. Yeah, I think it was a kind of timeless. Even though it was like 50s and 60s, it seemed very timeless to me. And I watched a couple of episodes on YouTube, and they still made me laugh. I still found them really funny. But she was just, again, in their quirky world where everything is all about death and horror and stuff. She still was an amazing mum that loved her family and loved her husband, and her husband obviously really loved her. In all different ways, and they just were. It was just. I love the Addams Family. I love the movies that came out as well. But I think the original TV show, was classic TV.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she did almost make it onto our list, didn't she? We undenied. We had her on the list. We took her off, then we put her back on. So we I think we agree with that.
Yeah.
Close to it.
See, I used to get the Addams Family and the Munsters mixed up.
Right.
But I mean, she was just brilliant when she held the family together, and she was ultimately, you got all these monsters there, but ultimately they're all scared of her because she's the matriarch of the family and everything. So, she was,
and the way she used to do the shuffle walk, and like the way that her dress was cut, it looked like octopus tentacles.
Yeah,
the way that she walked, it was
brilliant.
Okay, your number 4, please.
For number 4, we've gone for Lois Griffin from Family Guy.
Okay.
Oh, okay. We thought you might have had that one.
You know what? I've very rarely watched Family Guy, and I know that it's something that I would love. I know that I would find it really, really funny, and I've just never sat down and watched it. So why Lois Griffin?
Well, gosh, yeah, she's a modern version of Wilma Flintstone, I'd say. She depicts the American mum, and she looks after. I suppose you could look at so many characters like Roseanne and stuff like that would have all filtered to make this character.
Yeah,
they would have taken snippets of her to make her this, and she's a mother of 3 children. She has a dog that's desperate to be in a relationship with her. And be married with her. She's got her youngest son that she gave birth to.
I didn't
realise that. I'm going to watch it tonight if I didn't realise that a dog was like in love with her.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Brian is in love with her, and would happily bump Peter off to be with her. But and like she's just done so many different stories within that guarding her children or hating her children, and all these different things. And she's done.
I mean, she's put up with a lot. Like, she is kind of comparable to the Roseanne character, I think, because she's the head of the family. Everyone's afraid of Lois, really, but she kind of tries to to put on a show like she's got it all together, but she's just losing her shit all the time, really.
Again, that sounds so much like real life, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Everybody's just trying to do their best.
So it's kind of taking the dynamic that this is what a family is supposed to look like. You know, the mum, the dad, the kids. Lovely. But then when you delve into it, it's like she's sat in the corner rocking, you know, because she's just trying to keep it together.
Yeah.
So I just think, although a cartoon, again, she's a really relatable mum because she loves her kids, even though one of them's trying to kill her and the rest are trying to drive her insane. It's that unwavering, just love, and you'll do anything to protect your kids and look after your family.
Yeah, and she's got an ass for a husband, doesn't she, as well?
Yeah.
He's the extra child, I suppose, within the family. But
the biggest kid, probably. Actually.
She came from a wealthy family as well. That are constantly reminding her that we could pay to get rid of Peter for you, and you could have a better life with us. So you know, and so she's chose this life, and she defends it fiercely as well. That, you know, that's her life and everything. So she's just a good fun character. She's done lots of things. You know, there's episodes where she got addicted to gambling. They went somewhere and she ended up selling the car so she can continue, or gambled it away, sorry. And then there was one episode where she became bulimic, very thin, and then another one where she went completely the opposite way and just on too much weight. So there's lots of different things there. But the mum side of things, she defends everyone fiercely, even the child that tries to kill.
I'm gonna have to take a deep dive into it, I think, because I know that I would like it. I know I love that. I love that kind of comedies.
Oh yeah, the Star Wars.
I've seen that one. I have seen that one. Yeah,
Very
Blue
clever.
Harvest, wasn't it? It was called. They called it Blue Harvest.
Yeah. Very good.
Okay, so my number 4 was Barbara Royal, Sue Johnson from the Royal Family. So back to you with your number 3.
Okay, so number 3 is
we've gone to the East End again for this one.
Back in the East End.
Back in the East End.
You did mention her earlier, and you even played a little clip, and it's Peggy Mitchell.
Right.
So we have gone with Peggy Mitchell. Obviously, she was famously played by Barbara Windsor.
Yeah.
But she was played by someone else earlier.
Originally.
That's right. Yes.
And a total different character as well. They couldn't be any more opposite, really.
More different.
But I mean, gosh, Barbara Windsor to go from Carry On films and everything, and then be dropped into EastEnders. But it worked. You know, you saw this, and it worked so well. And I actually read something yesterday that I forgot their name. Steve McFadden and Ross Kemp both wanted there to be a spin-off with the Mitchell family after Barbara Windsor came into it, because you love the dynamic so much.
Right.
But you know, there's various stories that she actually did become like the mother on off scene, off set and stuff
for everybody.
But such a the things she would do for her kids. The kids would come first. I think the first time we saw Peggy was after Bill and Grant had a fight, and Bill was in hospital unconscious, and that was the first time. And I might be wrong there, but she was in it for so many years. But she wasn't just Bill Grant and Sam's mum. She became mum to so many others, and the relationship she had with other people like Pat Butcher. They hated each other, but ultimately they loved each other. So she was just
she had so many. She was the strong character, but she had all her stories, like she had like the breast cancer thing and everything, where she was trying to still be strong and still look after everybody else despite all this shit going on in her own life. And I think with all the mums we've chose, it's something that you can relate to, and you go, okay, I'm going to put aside how I feel in this moment because I need to look after my kids or my husband or everybody else on Albert Square.
So the show must go on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and she ended up with her own catchphrase as well. Yeah. Oh dear, that is a good one. I mean, I love Barbara Windsor just because of the Carry On stuff. So so good. Okay, my number 3 Now this might be a bit of a curveball, if you like. This is another one that you never actually saw her.
Oh, okay.
But we're going for Sue Mucklow from this country.
Oh, brilliant.
Yes,
damn it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
So played. I mean, it's credited
That's our number one.
credited by Ivy Woodcock is the credits on IMDb, but obviously we all know that it was Daisy Cooper that did the voice.
Yeah.
My voice is sounding like a now. She just come out with amazing lines, and we used to do at This Country podcast a few years ago, and we spoke to Daisy about Sue Mucklow, and she said that like they'd have to work out when she was going to do the voices because it would just tear her vocal cords up.
Yeah.
Because it was again, anybody that's on our Patreon, I will put clips in for Sue Mucklow in the video playlist.
Please put tomato in.
Yes, exactly. And I think it's best to not tell you about it, for you just to watch it, because it is a work of art. It really is a work of art. And it's just so funny. You never see her. All you get told is that she she looks like meatloaf, I think was one of the descriptions, and that she had feet like plates of ham or something. I honestly can't remember, but I thought I had to go in there because as a mother, and it was weird when you said about Joni Trotter, when you said you don't see her, I thought, oh my God, they're going to say Sue Mucklow, but you haven't yet. I mean, you might do, I don't know. But yeah, there you go. That's my number 3, Sue Mucklow from This Country.
But yeah, I've never watched This Country until last year. You were like, you took me on a little tour.
We've been to the
where
house.
This Country is filmed, and I'm like, just to say, I've never seen what you're talking about.
It was a good tour. We're going to go back.
Right.
I've been back there recently, and I love driving through there and just seeing all the different spots and the bus stop. It's you know. My oldest son loves it as well, and Ella, and your daughter, and my oldest son, not long after lockdown, I think it was probably the first time we could see each other again because we don't live together, and he had hair like Dennis the Menace.
Right.
Obviously no haircuts during COVID, but we went there. And we went to the bus stop, but recently I went to the bus stop again, and I was saying, just quoted. I'm always hanging about at the bus stops, but yeah, and I did the whole Lawrence Llewellyn, such a humble man,
humble, very, very humble.
I was like, do you know where I am? And he was like, you're at that blooming bus stop again. Yeah. Just hanging about.
Well, anybody out there that is a fan of This Country, our WTAF of This Country podcast is still up. So we had 200 episodes where we were very lucky and be able to chat to pretty much all of the cast. It was so much fun, but it was such a good show. I've not watched it for a while, I must admit, and I think it's time again to sort of dip back into that, because it was such a Charlie and Daisy are just lovely, and the whole family are lovely. But that's my number 3.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
Dirty
Peeper.
Dirty Peeper, indeed. Your number 2, then, please.
Number 2, Marge Simpson.
Ooh, okay.
So, obviously Marge Simpson, she's been around since, 1989.
Crazy, isn't it? Absolutely crazy.
It really is. And
same voice actor.
Same voice actor the whole time,
Julie Kavner,
But the animation, obviously, has
progressed
massively. You look at
the first
early,
episodes,
gosh, it was awful. But it was great back then, But Marge Simpson, you could tie her in with these American mums, Roseanne. She's got 3 children, but realistically, she's got 4 with Homer.
Yeah.
And again, she's probably one of the most famous American mums.
I think with Marge, she is supposed to be the epitome of the perfect American mum, though. She is she doesn't really lose it that often, and there's like the scenes where you can see her like twitching and like a little thing of her hair will ping up or whatever because she wants to keep it together. I think they definitely created Marge as in this is the representation of the perfect American mother, you know, with the pinion bacon and that kind of thing.
But I think
she's iconic. Everyone knows who Marge Simpson is.
Yeah, and I think it's like, I think it's like, and hello, mum, because my mum will be watching or listening. That when mums like that get angry, you know that they're angry. You know,
Yep.
my mum used to give me the look, and if I saw that look, I knew that I was in fucking trouble. I knew that there was something wrong, because most of the time, 99% of the time, loving, wonderful, the best mum in the world. But if you got that look, forget if my dad was telling me off. Okay, and dad was telling me off. But if my mum gave me that look, I knew that the shit was going to hit the fan, and I've done something really, really bad. So I totally agree. And again, sort of Lois Griffin and Marge are very similar. It's that similar kind of blueprint, isn't it? But yeah, that's a good one. That is a good one. Okay, my number 2. I'll be quick with this one because you both haven't seen the show. So I'm going for Lucille Bluth, who was played by Jessica Walters in Arrested Development. Please go and watch Arrested Development. It's about the most dysfunctional family. And Lucille Bluth is one of the worst mums that you will ever meet. I don't want to say anything because I don't want to spoil it for you. And I'm really jealous that you've never seen it, because when you watch it, I would give it a couple of episodes, because the type of comedy it is, it's very clever. There'll be something in episode 5 that will refer to something from episode 2 that you go, oh my God, that's really good. But it's just one of the funniest shows I think I've ever seen. And she is just a terrible, terrible woman. She's just horrible. She's just so nasty and says that she loves her family, but everyone in that family just are very selfish and they only care about themselves. But they try and make out that this loving family, but it's hilarious. So that's my number 2. Before we reveal our number 1 choices, would you like to run down in true top 40 style your number 10 to number 2? Then I'll do the same, and then we'll reveal our number 1s.
Yeah.
Okay, so from number 10, we have Liz from Motherland. Number 9, Lois from Malcolm in the Middle. 8 is Joni from Only Fools and Horses. Number 7 is Pippa Fletcher, Home and Away. 6, we've got Barbara Royal from the Royal Family. 5, the legendary iconic Dot Cotton from EastEnders. Number 4, we have Lois Griffin from Family Guy. 3, again, another iconic woman, Peggy Mitchell from EastEnders. And number 2 is Marge Simpson from The Simpsons.
Lovely. And mine is number 10, Roseanne from Roseanne. 9, Marion Cunningham, MILF from Happy Days. 8, Mrs. Lumsden from Sorry. 7, Daenerys Targaryen from Game of Thrones. 6, Skylar White from Breaking Bad. 5, Morticia Addams from The Addams Family. 4, Barb Royal from Royal Family. 3, Sue Mucklow from This Country. And 2, Lucille Bluth from Arrested Development. So, Rob, Michelle, what is your number 1 TV mother?
Right. Our number 1 is...
Number one is
Pam Shipman from Gavin and Stacey.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, no, he isn't. She's not my number 1.
Right, okay.
Not my number 1. But yeah, very apt at the moment. As we're recording this, they are filming the final episode, aren't they?
Sure
they are indeed. Yeah. We're big fans of Gavin and Stacey in this house. We went to
Barry Island.
We went to Barry Island and went and checked it all out recently. But yeah, oh God, so many quotes and famous sayings that, oh my Christ, we've actually got a mug up there with her quotes. But yeah, so many quotes from her, and gosh, she loved her son Gavin so much, her little prince.
Gavlar.
Her little prince, Gavlar.
Yeah.
And just the silly little things, she's an old school Essex mum, wife.
Yeah.
She doesn't need to work. And her brain just doesn't function properly in the sense that, I'm suddenly a vegetarian, and it's like, oh, I'm going to keep going with this. And it's all Mick's fault that he's bought meat, but there was quite a touching scene early on when she met Stacey, and Stacey had a spot, and they dealt with it, and that's how they bonded. But then she quite quickly went from, I want to kill Stacey because she's taken my little prince all the way to Wales away from me. So, but yeah, gosh, what an amazing woman. And
we've ended up with, like we were saying, like language Timothy and stuff. We've got a lot of quotes in this
we
house.
use it a lot in this house.
There's very much like Pam.
Oh my Christ.
Oh my Christ is probably the best one for us.
It's weird how those things become part of everyday, like we've said before, become part of everyday conversation, just dropping things in. What I hate is when somebody you'll say something and obviously somebody hasn't seen that show and you end up sounding like an idiot because you've gone and said something that you think everyone's going to go, oh, yeah, I recognise that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Right. I love the first couple of series of Gavin and Stacey, but then I think I kind of like started not liking James Corden. I don't know why, because a lot of people sort of ended up, I think, because
he is a bit like Marmite.
It's a popular opinion, I think.
And then it kind of put me off the show. Again, I haven't watched it for a long, long time, so I need to go back because I was fully invested in like, oh God, what's the other characters?
Nessa,
Smithy.
Nessa. I was so invested in them being. I want them to get together, and then I kind of like saying, I don't know whether it's. I don't know why the reason is, but again, another one I need to watch, and I need to go back and watch that. But a great one to have as your number one. My number one is Marge Simpson. So we have got that as another duplicate, all for the reasons that we said earlier on. I think she is the quintessential sort of TV mum that has to deal with all the crap, and that's her life. And then every so often she'll get a little sliver of her own life, but normally it'll just be having to wipe Homer's ass, and bail him out of something, or the kids have done something wrong. But that's my number one. So we've ended up with two. With two, which isn't bad. So again, another draw for that. Before we close everything, I've got some honourable mentions here. So Ross Carpenter, hello Ross, said Maureen Sourbuts, Dave's mum in Psychoville. Peggy Mitchell, managing those Mitchell brothers takes some doing. Marge Simpson, Peggy Hill from King of the Hill. Lisa Tandry, mum of Tia in Sister Sister. Okay, Pippa Fletcher, foster parents in Home and Away. Sheila Patterson, Kevin of Kevin and Perry's mum. Polly Gray of Peaky Blinders. Mandy Jordash of Brookside brought up the lovely Beth, Anna Friel. Also did murder her husband. Nice.
Trevor, buried him under the patio.
That's right. Yes. Oh my God, I'd forgot about that. Oh my God.
With the help of Sinbad.
That's right. And Vivian Banks, mother of Carlton, Nikki, Ashley, and Hilary in Fresh Prince. And an honourable mention for the unseen but are fondly referred to and revered Mrs. Joan Trotter. So there you go, another vote for that one. Paul Osgood, Gloria Pritchett and Claire Dunphy from Modern Family, Stu Grant, Livia Soprano from The Sopranos, Gemma Taylor-Morrow from Sons of Anarchy, Beverly Goldberg, The Goldbergs, Joyce Byers, Stranger Things, Peggy Bundy from Married with Children, Lois Wilkerson from Malcolm in the Middle, Vivian Banks, French Prince, there you go, that'll be Abbey Con, the French Prince of Bel-Air. Claire Huxtable, The Cosby Show, Let's Ignore Bill, shall we? And Marion Cunningham, Happy Days. Carol Barwick, Leonard's mum in Big Bang Theory, the mum from Bread in the 80s sitcom She's a Tart. Tammy Trimble, Sophia Petrillo from The Golden Girls. Corinne Pastor says Sophia Petrillo, The Golden Girls, played by Estelle Getty. Dale Richards, so many good ones, but Catherine O'Hara as Moira Rose in Schitt's Creek is a damn delight. See, I've never seen Schitt's Creek.
Oh, it's great. I wanted Moira, but you've never seen it, so we left that one.
But so many people that I speak to, they always say, you've never seen Schitt's Creek.
Absolutely brilliant. I was late to it.
Right.
But again, it's kind of, it's not going to hook you from the first episode. And I think if you're looking for out and outright belly laughing from the word go, that's not going to happen either.
Right.
But it is just so cleverly written. It's a smart show. It's really good.
I need to give that one a go then. And Dan the Man Harper says he agrees with the one from Schitt's Creek. Vanessa Frey, Lucille Bluth, Maria Martinez, Chili Healer from Bluey. Okay. Yeah, that means nothing to me. I mean, Bluey might mean something different in the UK.
Are obsessed with Bluey.
Right. Okay. See, I'm from an age when Bluey means something completely different.
Very different. Yeah.
So when you say kids
now.
kids love Bluey, I'm thinking, hang on, what the hell's going on? Anyway, Dawn Sardella Ayers says, admittedly, I've been binging Donna Reed lately, so that affects my choices, but I'll include Donna Stone and Elise Keaton, Carol Brady, Mrs. C, and the both best and worst mum, which makes great storytelling, Laura Lee Gilmore. Anna Romano from One Day at a Time was groundbreaking too. I also love Claire Huxtable. However, it's impossible to revisit most things Cosby because the rape apologist. Plus, I just plain loved Moira Rose, even though the maternal instincts are decidedly lacking. Laura Bourne says, Kathy from the BBC's Fabulous Mum. Love her for so many reasons, but not least for how touching a love story with Michael is. I cried so many times during the 3-series run, and whilst I wanted more, I was so glad that Stefan Golaziewski gave her and us a happy ending. I'll ding that. And Lindsay Pananan said, Mum in Bluey, she rules. Thank you very much, everybody, for all the honourable mentions. So there we go, chaps. We've done it. The top 10 TV mums. And... I mean, I think that was quite.
We actually had one this morning that I put to you, and it was. I thought maybe you would have had it, or someone in the comments might have had it as well, which was the Bisto mum from the advert.
Yes, yeah, I did see that on one of the. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, she's again somebody. She kind of made me the man that I am, the Bisto woman with the gravy, because
42 adverts she did.
How many?
42.
Wow.
Yeah.
But again,
I grew up with them.
Absolutely quintessential sort of British family, all there at the table.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I kind of wish I'd put that one in there now. Oh well. Come on, let's start again. I just need to rewrite my top 10. Let's start again. Okay, before we go, if you want to give everybody information about Abbey Con again, please, guys, and then we'll finish off.
No worries. So Abbey Con is a Comic-Con or a TV and film convention that's happening in Abingdon at the White Horse Leisure Centre on October 20th.
Which is a Sunday.
So the best thing to do on a Sunday
is come to us.
Absolutely.
It's reasonably priced. It's going to be a fun family event. We basically designed it on an event that we would want to take our children to.
Yeah.
Hence the reasonably priced and all the fun things there. Yeah, we've got lots of different puppeteers coming as well. We've got
a magic act. We've got face painters.
Yeah.
We've got vendors.
Kermit the Frog singing. We have 2 performances throughout the day of Kermit the Frog singing. As Shell mentioned, we've got magician. We've got Hacker the Dog, who is the current CBBC puppet. Not that you'd want to call him a puppet to his face.
No.
He is also the longest CBBC presenter of 15 years.
And some of the funniest bloopers you'll see on YouTube with him.
He'll bring his friend Phil Fletcher along.
Yeah. He's always travelling with this guy called Phil Fletcher. I don't know whether he's a stalker. I might have to speak to Hacker and see if there's an issue there. But yeah, I mean, they did this viral video, We're Just Normal Men.
Yeah.
Which he's worked out has had over 2 billion
I bet it has. I don't know how many times I've watched that. Honestly, I don't know how many times I've watched that. That is one of the funniest bloopers.
He will happily recreate that video with you on the day. He will happily do that. So yeah, we've got the voice of Sue from Sooty and Sweep coming. It's her first UK signing first signing. And then we've got an amazing Sooty display that is a private collection, but they're all screen used, so and they date right back to the start, so that's quite special. There's a puppeteer that's coming that did some of the Netflix Dark Crystal series. And we've just got a lot on. It's going to be a full action-packed family day out for everybody.
Nice.
Bring your kids, bring your granny. Everybody will enjoy it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Brian Reynolds and Stu Jackman won't be there this year. They'll be here.
Not this year.
Watch this
next year. I can't wait for that rogues gallery of almost superstars.
That's a future top 10 category there for you.
Indeed. Michael F. Fox will be there as well.
We could get the whole alphabet of foxes.
You absolutely could. Oh my God, wouldn't that be great? That'd be like a multiverse of foxes. That would be fantastic.
Michael Fox Convention.
Yes. Foxconn. It just writes itself, doesn't it?
There we go.
Oh dear. Like I say, we'll put all the information. I'm assuming like how to get tickets and all of the information of all the guests will be on your website, won't it? So we can just
it's
put
all
that.
over the socials. So we've got our website, which is troopereventsuk.com. We're on TikTok, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, and that's both Trooper Events, which is our events company, but also Abbey Con, which is obviously the event we're putting on. So it's all out there.
Awesome.
It's really out there.
Yeah, lots of advertising. We've got our own Stormtrooper as well, that we use quite regularly. I've never personally seen him, but yeah, he advertises everywhere and anywhere. There's banners all over the place. We're doing Abingdon Air Show with a Wookiee and Boba Fett in a couple of weeks, and advertising heavily there. So yeah, it's all going really well.
Good. Well, good luck with it, chaps. And also, like I say, anybody wants to have a good day out, then grab your tickets. And I'm assuming they can pay on the door as well if they want to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Wonderful. Rob, Michelle, thank you so much for joining us. For everybody else watching and listening, all the information for us is on our show notes. If you want to come and join our Patreon and come and support our little podcast, by all means do. The link is there. All the other links for everything else, just check the show notes. It's all on there. Rob, again, Michelle, thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's been lots of fun, and I've got so much to watch now. That's the trouble. It's just that my list just keeps getting bigger and bigger. It's just ridiculous. So thank you very much, everybody, for watching and listening. Now let's go start the countdown.